Of this first semi-final of the day, it's going to be NRG versus Lunatic High. NRG will be in the blue on defense, and it'll be up to Lunatic High to kick things off here and see what they can show us to break through on the attack.
Yeah, so looking at compositions already, NRG going to be running the Mei yet again. They're also going to be running Gods on the Roadhog on the defense, and Lunatic High running Lutation on the Tracer. So we might actually see him try to get into the backline, trying to penetrate this, and there's not really much to really worry about if you're him, unless you can dodge, unless you can't dodge the hook out of Gods, which I pretty much give him credit he can almost do every single time. And Eska on the McCree, most importantly, trying to push in here through the high ground, Seagull going to wall them off, and they're forcing an engager right on the other side.
That's right, people getting knocked down there as well. It's going to be Miro and Toby to fall, and that should already take the wind out of the sails for Lunatic High. For whatever reason, we actually see Dean hanging around a little bit, but Seagull's able to get up behind him. The wall coming up as well, just to make sure that he can't get away. Rujihong is going to be an ice spike to the dome, and his route of escape was already cut off by the wall, and that's just going to add injury to insult.
He hits the fadeaway. What a great shot out of him. And now Milo's going to have an Earth Shatter available. Lutation wasn't really able to accomplish too much, and because of the way NRG are playing, all grouped up on this side, the chance of him picking up stragglers is pretty difficult to do. So
this next fight, Rujihong is going to have the nano boost where Dummy probably won't. He's not going to have a chance to actually farm that up here with healing. So that's a new feature of Ana, I guess, in terms of how they change her ultimate sort of charges up here. So there will be fights where one team has the nano boost and some teams don't, but this wall just being put up in Lunatic High's way. They lose Tasia now as well. It's going to be a nano boost coming out on towards Dean to start things off here, but the Earth Shatter comes through. Milo's having none of that nonsense. Despite having the nano boost, Dean isn't tanky enough to deal with the onslaught of energy, and Lunatic High are going to be pushed back yet again.
Alright, so they force, actually they only use one ultimate, actually they use two, sorry. They use the Blizzard and they use the Earth Shatter, but they also got the nano boost out of Rujihong, which means they have ult advantage when it comes to Dummy, if you compare it on to Milo. If they continue to go on this high ground, I don't want to see Lunatic High going this route anymore, and I think they might be going through the underground. We saw them try to do this actually, I think it was with the Bastion.
Was it with Bastion?
Yeah, and they actually rushed through the low ground and catch him off guard by going straight into the back of the fight. But look at Dummy, he's not going to have the opportunity to heal through that Winston shield, and immediately turns around and look for the supports.
Yeah, Biter Grenade comes down here as well. Eska has to behave himself, be very careful. Gods requires healing, but it needed to be a reload for Dummy before he could get the next few darts heading across. Eska's not already being touched here. The wall being placed up by Seagull shows that they at least know he's there, and it's going to be a very timely sound barrier coming out here for NRG. It's going to keep them alive, just as Eska was wanting just to spring for. Now they've got Eska trapped out the back here. They can sort of hold him at bay for a little while and stall out his respawn, but they kind of need to kill him to do that. They let him stay alive, he just heals up, and then he can come from a flank.
Yeah, they're going to hit from multiple directions here, and I think Eska might try to go on the high ground with a Deadeye available. This could be really dangerous. They do have a nano boost in just a second, which could make his ultimate go even quicker. Seagull's going to try to come in. He's spotted them out. He's trying to go for the freeze onto Milo's going to be there to protect him as well, and they're completely collapsing on these two players.
They took responsibility for that loose McCree. If you forget him, or if you let him go on his own for too long, he could come back and, like you said, use that Deadeye from the high ground and really mess you up. Nano boost again is being used on towards Dean, if I'm not mistaken, and now the Graviton Surge coming in. Toby gets caught in there, but there was no backup really at all for Enigma to use that Graviton Surge with. Dummy the only player getting a kill over that fight, and now Seagull on his own on the point. I don't think he does actually have a Blizzard here. He's not using it for whatever reason. He's keeping himself behind the wall. That's very obnoxious strat to play against, by the way. Hard to get rid of him, but eventually Lunatic High will take the point.
Yeah, so Milo actually blocked out an Earth Shatter Dean early on in that fight. In the fight right before, and then Dean actually tries to go for Earth Shatter himself and catches Milo off guard, which actually eventually turned the tides of the fight, I want to say. But for the most part, I don't know, this Tracer, Lutation, I haven't really seen much of him on the kill feed. I don't know how much damage he's doing besides that, but the potential wombo combo out of the Graviton Surge and Pulse Bomb can be deadly, and NRG doesn't really have much to counter that unless Hooks is able to keep that sound barrier ready to go, but he's obviously going to be using it quite a bit. We've seen it already used, I think, twice so far in this match.
The Taijon's going to be the first man. He's on the front lines there as well, able to avoid a potential hook. No! The hook comes in. Gods almost predicts that one. Sends it over towards the left side doorway and catches Tajon as he shows up. Brilliant work from that man. Like we've said, he's been playing a lot of Roadhog lately and it shows.
Yeah, but we kind of saw there Dummy. He actually hit a sleep dart on Eska in the middle, again, of a Deadeye. This man, we talked about it before the game even started, hitting the sleep darts is so crucial, and he was able to have the cognizance to actually know he's coming from that direction.
Really beautiful stuff there as well. You saw Seagull there go forward with a Blizzard. Fairly straightforward pickups here.
Still
Eska, yeah, no, this is happening a lot. Eska and Rujihong, for some reason, are always sort of flanking out towards the side. Now, Eska has a lot of support in the form of that Ana there as well, but he has to be careful. Seagull finds it with an ice spike, and you've got to respect that man. Even at long range, he can really make your life difficult. Now the wall comes in to split the fight.
I mean, Rujihong's still there, still able to heal from the high ground. The problem is they're already a man down. They're already down their damage dealers. NRG are able to just force this fight immediately here. Seagull, can you just stop hitting these headshots? This is completely insane out of him. His Blizzard's almost up yet again. There's 2 minutes left to go for Lunatic High to get to the second checkpoint. The way NRG are playing, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
And now Rujihong off towards the side here. I don't think he's been discovered as of yet, but Tajon has to close the gap here through all this damage coming through. Good hook, great wall coming coming out from Seagull. He's going to keep Dummy alive there. See, wrap your supports back. They'll rub yours as well. Nicely done. Tyjon now just getting denied that juicy kill. The hook going to come in on towards Enigma, but there's a sound barrier here for energy as they start fighting through. It's a bite grenade on towards Dean. He's not taking enough damage, so Dummy eventually falls. Earthshatter onto 2, but Dean also knocked to the ground.
And with Seagull already dying to Eska, that means they don't have a Blizzard to stall. They actually don't have enough people up to stall this one, and this should be Lunatic taking the point. Even with that great wall coming out of Seagull, you have to kind of wonder if, well, he didn't have the wall available for the actual fight that they pushed in onto. With that on cooldown, they knew they can push directly into NRG, and there's nothing they can do to disengage besides the speed boost out of Pooks. But I think that God's going to be switching. Keep in mind, he had his whole hog ready to go, but he switches off it to go to Reaper.
Now, McCree's often been called a hero that requires a little bit of babysitting from supports in terms of healing, because he doesn't have a lot of his own. But look at this, Eska combining so nicely with Ruje Hong. The problem is Eska's flash went straight into the shield of Enigma there and didn't actually pop at all. It just sort of got cancelled out there. So despite McCree already being asleep, or sorry, whoever it was that was Seagull, I think there, despite him being asleep, there was no extra follow-up that could be available.
Graviton Surge is up though for Enigma, as well as Mirror's going to have his available, and that's going to be Enigma getting pulled in immediately, so they don't have the Graviton. They don't really have much to contest this one, but the Blizzard's going to come down. It's going to actually pick up quite a few people frozen down, but where's the kills coming in? You can see Seagull trying to focus down on Ruje Hong. He's going to get the kill. He's going to turn around, look for Eska here, as well as how's the health pack off to his side, and even Tasia gets slept up in this one. Dean somehow connects the charge on his Seagull.
You hate to see that happen, but sometimes it just does. God's going to spin through there with the Death Blossom, gets himself a quick double. It's going to be Dean and Eska to fall. Miro fell elsewhere there as Milo picked him up. And sometimes you do just walk down into Reinhardt charges. It's happened to me before. It's very tilting. Not much you can do about it there for Seagull. And to be fair, good move by Dean there as well. I mean, you kind of picked door A or door B, right? And you charge into it. He picked the right one.
Yeah, he did. And NRG actually committed quite a few ultimates on that too. The Nano Boost, Graviton Surge out of Enigma did get thrown out before he did get hooked in and killed. And that Seagull used the Blizzard as well as Gods, who just switched to the Reaper and was able to do enough damage to have the Death Blossom up in that fight. That's pretty insane out of this man.
Now, wall up in front of Eska here. It's 1 minute and 5 left with Lunatic to press on towards this point. Deadeye coming out here. Eska going to shut down Enigma though with that one. It's a Zarya down so far for energy. They had the sound barrier there, but it was a little bit too late to save the life of Enigma. Seagull low now. Wall coming up. He's looking for Miro, but there's going to be an Nano Boost with Reinhardt coming over the top. He needs to address this first. He does get the knockdown as well. Bionic Grenade even being used here. Everything being thrown at Dean just to try and slow him down. But in the meantime, Milo falls. Eska picks him up. Now he's going to press forward as well and force the rest of energy to retreat off to the left side.
They're looking for the snowball now. They're looking to hold on to this fight to keep pushing it forward. Even more the wall again. Seagull, this is twice now in this game. He's been able to save his teammates. Dummy gets the kill on Dean, and Seagull's able to push forward as well. Looking on Miro, who's eventually going to fall from this, and NRG are going to hold strong again.
The Tyjon forced back away now. It's 23 seconds left on the clock here. Toby eventually himself is going to be bundled straight away from this one. Now NRG know where Lunatic are going to be swarming in from, but only 15 seconds left for the Korean squad. They've got to move very quickly. They can't really move from the high ground. It takes it too long, and Dean's sleeping on the job. This is not the time you want to be laying down. Eska now going up top side as well. You saw him go over. He'll probably just try and stall this payload and get a bit of a flank move going. Seagull's going to have to be ready for this one now. He does get stunned up. Eska gets taken down though. Gods finds him. That was the flanking tool for Lunatic. Now Seagull, another Blizzard comes in to zone them off.
There's nothing you can do though. It has to have be Dean staying alive because he can't run into the Blizzard. Finally, Toby's able to chime in there. Poop's coming in from the backside, able to get some good damage and Boops off, looking for that one boop. All he needs to turn this one around, and with Lunatic all falling one by one, NRG are going to hold, then back to distance.
Nicely done. That's pretty impressive if you can start off the first map in that fashion to keep Lunatic of all teams away from the final objective. You're definitely not complaining at all there. And my God, we really were treated to some very impressive mechanics in that game, Jason. Or in that half at the very least. There's still another one to go. You know, Seagull, not just playing Mei because he has to. I've spoken to a lot of players who said, yeah, I play Mei. Maybe I prefer to play other things here, but you can just see how far Seagull has taken that Mei pick and what he can do with it to deny Deadeyes, to deny hooks, to deny ults and split up teams in those fights. It's going above and beyond the call of your average everyday Mei.
And Ruje Hong there at the end too got picked off by Seagull. When we saw Dean sleeping on the Reinhardt in the last few seconds trying to contest the payload before they got around the corner, he got picked off. Got double headshot by Seagull, and with losing a major support like that who can give you such longevity in these fights, not to mention that Nano Boost, which can turn the tides of how a fight can go. It's such a great pickup.
Gods also should be happy there as well. I mean, he was able to shut down the Tyjon very handily. We've talked about this as well. Teams that have to deal with Tracers or Genjis, if you don't have either a McCree or Roadhog that can actually deal with them, not just their presence alone is enough. If you actually have, you know, those heroes that take responsibility for dealing with the enemy flankers, then you're probably going to be okay. And we saw that coming out from Gods there as well. He went for Tyjon, he got the hook in on multiple occasions, he was able to find him.
Even the prediction hooks too. Just ridiculous. Towards the second phase in the streets, he was able to hit one through a door without even seeing him come that way. Really well done on this man, and Even Dummy, you have to give credit to this guy too. He actually hit so many great sleep darts. Even Milo actually had some great Earth Shatters coming in. He only got mitigate, I think, 1 out of, about his 4 or 5 Earth Shatters. He actually got dodged out on, but...
Something Milo's very good at is navigating the mind games as well with Reinhardt. When he Earth Shatters, it almost always connects. You know, he always seems to find a way to use it, whether he baits a shield out or he baits an enemy, you know, Reinhardt into moving away or whatever it is. He always needs to make it happen. Pooks is also very good at shunting people off as well, just to allow the Earth Shatter to hit properly. But now it's going to be NRG on the attacking side. All they've got to do, Jason, is finish the map.
Looks like both teams are going to be sticking with pretty much what they did last time, except Lunatic going for the triple tank setup with Miro on the Winston, which is actually another one of his most played heroes. That and Zarya can even comfort swap to D.Va if they do need. But again, NRG just going to be waiting to see what they're up against, and they might actually run back and switch, assuming it's something they don't like. But they seem pretty happy with this one. Godspeed can hit a hook. He can turn the tides of how this fight can go, not to mention the damage they can do to Dean. The Mei wall out of Lunatic can't actually block them off here, so they're more than comfortable to actually fight from this position.
Yeah, good pilot grenade though on towards Seagull there. He couldn't get any healing at all, and Lunatic just pushing back a little bit to start with here. Finding Milo here as well is important, but Enigma finds Dean, and perhaps we might see NRG hang around to fight a little bit longer through these corridors, so you can see Enigma there just starting to come forward a little bit more. That's, I guess, one difference in the team comp we didn't point out here, is NRG have Gods on the Roadhog and Enigma on the Reaper with Seagull on that Mei again.
Yeah, so they're running the 2-tank setup, but not the traditional 2-tank setup you'll see. My question is, well, how are they going to deal with Eska? I would actually like to see Gods go through main and kind of sneak his way through, get a cheeky pull onto him, and once you pick him off or pick off Miro, you have a relatively good fight, but they have nothing to really get onto this man. They're actually chasing Miro. They're going to drop down themselves, and even Ursha, I believe, that was coming through.
Yeah, they're going to be knocked down to the ground, and Dean finds Enigma with a charge. That's probably the most important piece of the puzzle to be taking out here and removing. Wall comes up here. This is going to allow NRG to back away for the most part, not feed too much ult percent over towards Lunatic, but they're definitely going to have to regroup and go for another fight. Gods, not sure if he went for the health pack, was hoping to catch someone as he pushed forward. Gets nothing for that.
So, I mean, we haven't seen much of Eska on the kill feed. It's been mostly just Miro in the Etation. Even Dean getting a charge or 2 in there. I still want to see them deal with this man, because we saw him do this before. He sits on this high ground, he gets supported by Rouge Hong, he has Miro there to protect him in case like a Genji or something dives his way, and then you can't deal with him. You're going to hope that Seagull can take the shot to hit the Icicle to finish him off, which you have to hit 2 in a row when you have a support there healing you.
NRG have a pretty good anti-Winston comp here as well when they get a Roadhog and that Reaper. They chase Miro down to the ground. That's why they were Earth Shatter before. Eska's got to be careful. He does get a sound barrier. He almost died to the second spike coming from Seagull, but the time the ult coming away from Toby kept him on his feet. Lunatic and Dean finding Enigma and Milo again. You can see the focus of targets here for Lunatic High. They're always dealing with those two first and foremost. Getting rid of Enigma, making sure he can't wreck their tanks, and then getting rid of that Reinhardt shield.
See, the Reaper, it's not a bad pick against this composition when you have a Roadhog and a Winston on the other team, especially Dean playing Reinhardt. But when are you going to have the opportunity to hit these shots? The thing is, Lunatic High doesn't need to really drop down to the point. Dean can kind of sit there, Miro can keep jumping up and down, but he won't have the ability to pick up a great Wombo combo onto so many different targets. You have Toby and Rouge Hong playing very safe with Eska. I don't necessarily know about the Reaper, but we're just going to see how it's going to work out here, because he has ultimate ready to go.
Yeah, Miro's going to jump up now. Wall being used here to keep NRG safe from Eska off towards the side, so he now has to be patient, and this is going to allow NRG to advance a little bit more. Eska trying to find Dummy there as well. A couple shots are ringing across, and Miro's going to jump forward there. Dummy knocked back, but Gods gets a double. I'm pretty sure it just knocked Toby and Letajon off there with the whole hog. Well, now they're going to continue the fight on towards the rest of the point, though. Blizzard comes down. Life's going to get a little bit chilly for Dean, and they can't find Eska. They can't connect onto him, but then they get him. Seagull finally finds him. Great use of the sound barrier from Pooks. It means that NRG could stay a little longer without dealing with Eska and the Deadeye.
So they didn't even need the Reaper at this point. The whole hog out of Gods gets himself a double kill by knocking them off the high ground. That should just never happen when you're as Lunatic High here. You should know and expect something like that. But somehow NRG using the wall out of Seagull to actually allow them to push out of this high ground without taking too much chip damage completely opens up that point.
NRG's team composition doesn't have a lot to deal with the McCree up on the high ground, really. So the fact that Pooks brings in the ultimate there, the sound barrier, to keep them alive a bit longer, and of course, you know, as a McCree, if you're trying to ult into a sound barrier team, it takes a heck of a long time to actually have the shots primed to go. That bought enough time for Seagull to hit the ice spikes to pick him off. Really clever work by NRG. They don't have a direct McCree counter on this team, but they can still work around him.
And not to mention, Reaper can really excel in this situation too, in these kind of areas in the street phase. Hook comes in out of Gods, kept on to Miro, doesn't get pulled actually towards the team, but not to mention the body grenade hitting him. They're able to take him down with the help of Enigma here, and now Dean getting caught out here by the wall. Seagull's on a sliver of HP, and he's going to fall. Pooks gets the kill, and they have the man advantage. They can continue to push this one forward.
Yeah, 2-for-1 fight. Hook comes in, God's going to be hooked down, put to sleep, then knocked back. A lot happening to him, but there it is. Never hook first, then Gods is going to respond here. The biotic grenade going to make it hard for him to stay alive. And you can see that Toby's trying to kill him there, but no, he's going to take a breather, get some health back, and now go back into it. It's going to be Eska to find Milo, but he gets hooked in as well. NRG are more than happy to brawl their way down the street here, and Rouge Hong and Seagull Seagull are locked in a mortal battle. It's going to be Rouge Hong having to back away, and surely he should fall here, at least have to give up ground.
If they can kill him, actually, I don't think Lunatic can really contest his payload. They're going to try to do as much as they can to throw people on top of this, but they need this nano boost. And the question is, who's it going to come on to? You can put it on Eska so he gets the charge on his Deadeye a lot faster, but Eska's not on the high ground, so it's going to be really difficult for him to really hit much passive shield out of Milo. The payload has been halted, nano boost is being used. He slept again!
Perfect.
Dummy hits it a second time!
And he gets shielded up there as well, but NRG have no interest in waking Dean up. They're going to wait for that one to expire, and then the wall going to come up and block the Deadeye coming from Eska here. No chance for him to use that one. Milo lays down the Earthshatter, lays down the hammer and the Law. It's going to be Gods looking for the Lucio up on the payload. He doesn't want to go for the other Roadhog. He gets rid of Toby first. Now he backs away, gets a bit of healing. Hook comes in, and he is eventually pulled out by Litajun, who's had a good fight so far. 2 kills for him. And Lunatic should be able to push this one out.
Yeah, it looks like they're being successful in this one, but it's still really dangerous if you're Lunatic to fight in this ground if you don't have high ground control. Enigma, if he was to teleport up above them and drop down with a nano boost and the Death Blossom, that's going to be painful. But NRG are already adapting. Look what they switched over to. Gods going off the Roadhog to go to McCree to deal with Eska, and how he's been able to kind of pick apart NRG for the most part. And Lunatic going to be sticking with the composition, but Miro, he's going to have Graviton Surge.
This is a really good stage for McCree, of course, because of the railings around on all sides here. And also the attacking team can access those quite safely via the stairs. Lunatic are too far back to actually prevent that from occurring. So Miro, though, up on the high ground with Xayah, which is not always an easy position to play as Xayah, to sort of get a good energy charge going on, will be challenged out by Gods. I guess we expect that to happen. Yeah, Gods picked up by Eska, so not a great start in this fight here for NRG. We're going to lose Dummy as well with the Graviton Surge coming through from Miro. And yeah, they're going to have to just try not to use ults in this fight, although Enigma did try and use the Death Blossom here. They're just going to try and save and hold on to what they have and use it for the next fight.
I want to say Enigma's going to switch.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's going to have to switch over. And with 10 seconds remaining, they need to touch his payload as quick as they possibly can. Dean's going to have an Earthshatter. I don't know if NRG can actually get here in time if Dean times this one correctly. They have to touch his payload in the next 3 seconds.
I think Enigma can get there. No, Enigma's cut down. He at least gets to the payload now. It's going to be contested. We're in overtime here, but it's not looking good for NRG. They've already lost Enigma and Dummy at the very start of the fight. Now a sound barrier being used. It's going to have to be a 4v6 for NRG. They've got no other choice. They've got to make this one work now. Gods on the Winston gets cut down by Miro. That sound barrier has expired, and it's going to be Pooks and Milo to fall in soon after. The hero of the day, Seagull, is cut short, and it looks like Lunatic are going to take this one away. They're pushing back on towards the point, and with Enigma falling yet again, Lunatic take the first map. Brilliant defense here on Numbani. NRG get no step towards that last checkpoint.
And Mitch, we talked about NRG, how they're a lot more willing than we saw Rogue in the first days, switching heroes around. But Eska on the McCree was such a nuisance the entire time. Even Litajun on the Roadhog, he was more than comfortable to stick to that hero time and time again because the hooks he was hitting was fantastic, even though Gods was still doing relatively the same. I really have to question, though, the Reaper pick out of Enigma there, because a Reaper pairs really well with an Ana, obviously. The problem is he doesn't have a Zarya to stop your Death Balls from getting interrupted. You don't have that protection to make that full channel go off to actually just decimate the entire enemy team. When you have a tanky lineup like a Roadhog, a Reinhardt, and a Zarya, you're not going to kill them instantly.
And Rouge Hong as well with sleep darts that can interrupt you when you're old. If you don't have a Zarya shield, you're going to be subject to all of that kind of CC and more. Lunatic that was an incredibly impressive defense there. You know, if you had seen the way the NRG defended, you would have thought that's sufficient.